Hello, hope everyone is doing well. This is Chris Nagus down here at KMOV Channel 4. I work as an investigative reporter. I work on the I-Team here at KMOV. I hope everybody is doing well out there in Troy, Missouri. It's been a little while since I've been out in Lincoln County, but I'm sure a story will bring me that direction very soon. Now, I've been asked to answer some questions about this job, and I was asked by several of the different teachers out there, and I guess we're talking to the 8th graders today, so I'm happy to do that. So I'm going to go right down the list. I don't have these in the teleprompter, so I'm just speaking to you guys off the cuff, but I'm going to be reading the questions off the sheet here and giving you guys answers, hopefully, to those questions. So the first one comes from Miss Malik's class, and that is, how do you find stories? Well, there's no easy answer to that, but there's a variety of ways that I find stories. Number one, I check the court dockets. I check case files. I talk to people. I enterprise by going out in the community. I return phone calls when people call me. At least I try to return as many as I can. I've got a KMOV Facebook page where a lot of people send me tips or story ideas that need to be investigated. And after being on the air here at KMOV for the past 8.5 years, I receive a lot of feedback from the community. And quite honestly, that's where most of my stories come from. It's from the viewers. And once they give us a tip, that usually gets the ball rolling. Every tip does not turn into a story, but we take a look at as many of them as we can. So that's from Ms. Malik's class. Another question from Ms. Malik's class: what's your favorite thing about your job? It's easy. It's the variety. Every single day is different. I get to meet all kinds of people from all walks of life. I go to communities all over the St. Louis area. My job also takes me outside of St. Louis, depending on what the story is. So there is a travel component involved as well. And for me, it's meeting different people, hearing their stories, and no 2 days is the same. So I like that part of it a lot. I'm never bored, so that's a good thing. All right, number 3, what inspired you to become a journalist? That is from Miss Lee's class. Well, a variety of things. You know, I like shining lights in dark corners. I like to right wrongs if I can, or to get resolution for people who feel like they don't have a voice, like they can't get anything done. That's what inspires me. You know, I started off at the University of Missouri at an NBC affiliate. I enjoyed going out in the community and telling stories. And like I said, as the answer to the last question, the variety. And I think that was inspiring for me. I've been doing this now for nearly 20 years, and I still love the job. I'm lucky that I get to do what I do. How long does it take to write or develop an entire story? That also comes from Lee's class. Well, it depends on the story. Some stories are simple. They don't take very long at all. I can turn out a story in 10 to 15 minutes. When it comes to the writing process, if I need to, we have deadlines every single day. Those deadlines never change. So I've always got to be on top of the news and on top of stories. I have to be able to turn out content quickly. Now, other stories can take months. I've had stories that have taken close to a year to develop, to flush out. So it just depends on the topic, the complexity, the issue. So there's not really an easy answer to that question. So I guess I'll just leave it at it depends. Number 5, what's a typical day at work for you? And that comes from Miss Wally's class. Well, I wouldn't say there's a typical day, but I generally arrive here at the station around 9:30 in the morning. I start by going through my voicemails, my Facebook messages, Twitter. I start looking through any potential follow-ups. I look at court dockets. I try to see if there's any follow-ups that need to be done that day on a story that we did the day before. And from there, my day is interviews, looking for more stories, and developing stories. Sometimes that's traveling. Sometimes that's working right here in the newsroom with a story that I shot a week ago, but putting it together. So no day is the same. So I can't really say that I have a typical day, but I will say they all start and most of them end here in the newsroom. So number 6, what is the hardest part of your job? That is a good question. That is from Miss Wally's class as well. The hardest part of my job, bar none, is getting people to talk that don't want to talk. Some of the issues that we cover aren't always pleasant. Sometimes the people that are the focus of an investigative piece don't want to answer questions. And getting them to talk can be a challenge. We often have luck doing that. We can often convince somebody that it is to their benefit to be part of the story rather than not to be part of the story. but that can be a challenge. Number 7, if you can't get an interview, how else do you gather information for your story? That is from, and I hope I'm saying this right, Miss Zessinger's class. Well, if you can't get the interview, there are other ways. You can talk to eyewitnesses. You can talk to people who are part of the story, but maybe not the main source in the story. You can look at court dockets. You can look at property records. You can look at past lawsuits. You can pull case files through the courthouse. There's all kinds of way to approach a story. Just because somebody won't talk doesn't mean the story is dead. It doesn't mean you can't do it. Yes, it makes it more challenging, but if the story is worth tracking down and if it is a benefit to explain that story to the community at large, there are other ways to gather the information. And number 8, what parts of school helped prepare you to be a successful journalist? You know, I can't say it was one class or another that made me want to do this job, but being focused in school, paying attention, being open to new concepts, new ideas, being curious about the world around you, asking questions, those are things that can help prepare you for a job or a career in journalism. You know, myself, I've always been curious. I'm one of those guys. I like to know what's coming up over the next hill. So I keep going. I keep asking questions, and that's where a lot of my best stories come from. So I would encourage you to do that, whether you want to be a journalist or you want to do something else. Just, you know, pay attention to the world around you. Pay attention to current events. I went to the University of Missouri in Columbia. From there, I took a reporting job in Des Moines, Iowa at a CBS affiliate. I worked there for 5 years. I went to Kansas City to an ABC affiliate for 3 years, and I've been here at KMBC now for over 8 years, KMOV, mixing up the stations, KMOV for over 8 years. And like I said, I still love this job. I love what I do. I feel lucky that I have this opportunity. Now, if any of you have any additional questions, feel free to email me. My email is chris.nagus@kmov.com. I'm also on Facebook, Chris Nagus, KMOV. You can find me there. I'll do my best to get back to you. And hopefully, we'll catch up with you all of you in person at some point. That's all I've got. Hope the rest of your day goes well out there in Troy. I appreciate your time.